Hello and welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Fake Racers Podcast, an episode that you won't want to miss as Joe and Davey break down everything from Phoenix, including double birds, strategy calls on the 23, as well as people labeling Martin Truex Jr. as the first title contender to emerge. It's a jam-packed episode. We really packed it in neat for you this week. You don't want to miss it. So here, without further ado, here are the boys, Joe and Davey. And welcome to the Fake Racers Podcast. As always, I'm Joe Twansky.
I'm Davey Hazard.
And you're listening to episode number 24 for Jeff Gordon, of course. And our buddy Ryan Pace. You know. But
Better than William Byron.
Hey. And Chase Elliott. Chase never won in the 24. Technically, Byron's a better driver in the 24. I mean, saying.
This is technically correct, yeah.
If wins are all that matters, but, whatever. You know who did win, Davey? You know who did win?
The fans.
I thought so. I thought it was a good race, but Martin Truex Jr. won at Phoenix. Congratulations, Martin Truex Jr. Yeah.
Happy for him.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. It felt good to have a normal winner again. As much as I don't really like Martin Truex Jr. as a driver, it was like, we're back to normality. Like,
yeah.
That was a status quo win right there.
Still another first-time winner.
Yeah.
His crew chief, or not his crew chief, his spotter, Drew Herring, didn't have the batteries fall out of his radio this week. So congratulations. Yeah. I've seen everywhere, though, Davey, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong on this. Everyone keeps calling him the first title contender to emerge. It's race 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also, I think the guy that won last week at Las Vegas is going to be a title contender because he's been fast every single week. His teammate Chase Elliott, I think, is a title contender because they've been fast every week and they should have won a race.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've already seen Truex is the first title contender. I think that's more about like his history, right?
Yeah. That's just. Again, I think it actually goes back to kind of what I was saying. It's like the first status quo win. It's like, well, Martin Truex Jr. is going to be decent again this year. It's like, well, that's the guy. And I think that's just a really short-sighted way to look at it, but it's probably what it is.
Well, and Gibbs really had to improve at these 750 tracks. They were absolutely horrendous last year at them. Horrendous is probably not the greatest way, but they had, Truex won Martinsville? I think that was their only win on a 750 track.
Yeah,
so
really good showing from Gibbs. Besides Kyle Busch, but he had other incidents that we'll talk about. But Denny Hamlin up there, Penske had a good day for the most part.
Well, yeah, they won both the stages.
Kevin Harvick finally rebounded with a P6. I feel like he's kind of been in no man's land this whole season. P6
yeah, Kevin Harvick. Top 10, Kevin Harvick at one of your better tracks. Woo!
Oh, I mean, he's been kind of nowhere this year. It's kind of
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just, flames,
Yeah.
No,
but drama. Kevin Harvick on the downturn.
Kevin Harvick washed up, needs to retire. What? This is why you gotta. I love our Spotify listeners, but man, the faces we make. That's why you gotta check out YouTube.
Kevin Harvick hasn't won this season, just like Jimmy Johnson didn't win for 3 seasons.
What?
Crazy. What? Question mark? Washed up?
Is Denny Hamlin on the downturn?
On Twitter. Wait, what?
Oh boy, NASCAR Twitter. But
anyway.
We're trying to be part of it. Hey, Yeah.
Anyway.
I just think it's unfair to say that he's the first title contender.
It is.
I think what you're saying is the more accurate assessment, that he's the first normal driver to win a race.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's people that have Kyle Larson going to the Final Four because of what car he's in and what kind of drive and how good of a race car driver he is. Chase Elliott is up there in points. Denny Hamlin's leading the points. Like there's I know it's because we live in this bubble of wins mean everything, right? They mean everything. And
and your last 3, if you're only as good as your last performance, basically in NASCAR, it seems like, especially on Twitter and in social media, like the buzz around you, Yeah. It was a very status quo weekend as well. Michael McDowell kind of back to his normal stomping grounds in the 20s. It was a normal Sunday evening, afternoon, whatever it is.
whatever time that they want to make the races.
The times are changing, Joe.
Yes, make sure your clocks has the right time.
I'm
so sick of it getting dark at 8 o'clock, man. It's supposed to get dark at like 7:30.
Yeah, and then by the time it turns back around in the wintertime, it's going to be getting dark at like 4:30, and you're going to wish it was this way again.
Well,
annoying.
Hey, we're all humans. We always want what we can't have or don't. Let's move on. Let's talk about the track, because this is the big thing for me, and I've kind of griped about it. If we have to add stuff to a racetrack, does that mean it's a good racetrack?
I think it means that there's something missing, and I feel like adding stuff to the track should be last resort, and it should be a warning sign that something's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been doing that, so something's not working.
Well, and I think the problem is this is the track that NASCAR is handpicked as the one that should have the championship moving forward, right? A lot of that has to do with the renovations and the massive improvements they did to Phoenix in the last couple of years, with the new fan zone down in the infield, which obviously I don't think probably got very much use this weekend, and probably won't get very much use until next year or maybe the fall, because I believe the championship races will have practice in November, if I recall the schedule correctly. But I don't think Phoenix needs this traction compound. I really don't. I think you can have I think everyone will be around the bottom. But when we go to all these, we go to Martinsville and we want everyone around the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Like we go to Bristol and we want everyone around the bottom. And if people are going to call Phoenix a short track, which, that's a controversy that we're not going to get into.
Did you just do that?
I said people. I didn't say me. It would make sense that you want the racing to look the same, not this willy-nilly around the high line. The high line, because it's not really a high line; it's just a grip strip, right? It's not like Homestead where you have a bottom and a top. It's not like Atlanta where you have a bottom and a top. It's not like these 1.5 miles, but it's not like a short track where you're just around the bottom, freight training it. Like it's, in theory, it's this perfect like combination of our intermediate and our short track, right? Mile track, it's got really good seats and a decent amount of seats. That's probably some of the problems that they saw with maybe going to a short track, which makes no sense, because if you did a championship at Bristol, it would be electric. NASCAR obviously won't want to give that up. I don't know where I'm going on this tangent, but it's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid. That's what it is. That's what traction compound is. It's a Band-Aid.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing more to add on it.
Hey, but some tracks it really works, right? Bristol it works because they want the low line. Pocono it works in turn 3 pretty well. If guys start actually venturing up there. I don't think you need it. You don't need it in what's now 3 and 4, what was 1 and 2.
Yeah.
If you want to leave it in new 1 and 2, okay, I'm on board with that, but we don't need it in coming to the finish. Just that's the bad part of the track, but all right, moving on. An incident that happened on that part of the track there in 3 and 4. Late in the race, Ross Chastain spins out Kyle Busch. Busch looked like he had a checkup, maybe got in the wall. It was kind of hard to tell. They had words on pit road after. I don't think they covered it in post-race at all.
Nope, we didn't.
Which is a different topic for another day.
No, it's a topic for right now. Real quick, we're not going to delve into it, but it drives me nuts that we have 30 minutes pre-race once we get to the actual like race
network
coverage slot, and then we have an hour of pre-race somewhere else on whatever, Fox Sports, NBCSN. We don't need all the pre-race.
Yeah, we
Move
do.
to the post-race.
Yeah, we do.
We don't need it. No, we don't.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Davey. Guess where we do our best? Guess where we do our best numbers on our broadcast? And I know it's completely different, not television. We do better numbers before the race than we do after the race, because people click their television sets off. Post race. That's what these weekly shows are for. Is post race coverage, right? That's what Monday and Tuesday is completely devoted to on like NASCAR Race Hub.
Yeah, but what post race coverage do we get at this point?
They
We
literally break the whole race down on Monday.
Okay, we can still do that on Mondays. That's fine. I'm not debating that. But can we get like a half hour to hash out what the heck actually happened
Well, then you're
on Sunday?
delving into then moving the race times up. Because
Then
Fox can't
then
give you an
then
hour
take
from 7
away
to 8.
45 minutes of the pre-race because we don't need all of it.
Right,
We
but
don't need all of it.
it's not about Fox. They're doing their job. I mean, they're going to do 2 hours of pre-race coverage no matter what. The race could
Why?
start because if the race starts at 1, the problem with it is you're backing up against the window. Remember with the 500, everyone was really worried that Fox was going to move the 500 to FS1 so they could premiere their new game show. Remember that whole Cherry's Wild controversy?
Mm-hmm.
Controversy. It's that, right? They're in this window. They can't go over 7 o'clock because Fox has other commitments. You have networks that have local news that they have to get to. It's that. It's breaking into that window.
And they can't move the start time up like half an hour.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be the start time. It's not on Fox. Like, this isn't an issue with Fox. And I know people are it's not an issue with Fox. NBC did a terrible job last year with the Roval coverage, but it was the same issue there where local news was coming on. It goes back to the start time debate. And you would have to move start times up, and then Fox would have to commit then. But right now they're in a situation where they can't commit that, especially since it's game show season and spring television and whatnot.
See, I don't care about any of that. I just think
I know.
I think it's absolutely stupid that we have disproportionately way more pre-race than we do post-race. I'm okay with more pre-race in general, but like we have so much pre-race, and you said it yourself, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
You said it yourself. We do the whole race breakdown on Monday. Why do we need it again before the race on Sunday? For the pre-race race?
No, I know. I'm just telling you why. I'm telling you the why. I'm telling you the why. And if
I'm telling you that it's dumb.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you because I think it's terrible that we can't.
I want to fight.
I think it's terrible we can't interview Brandon Brown after finishing 3rd in the Xfinity race. Like, come on. Well, let's go interview Justin Allgaier, who finished 10th.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and if people want to hear us talk about that more, we talked about it a lot with the Daytona episode too. Talked about the whole noon thing that people tried to get going on Twitter, which is stupid, but whatever. Going after Fox for having this huge pre-race show, just stop. So it's NASCAR. It's NASCAR in the end too. NASCAR can put their foot down and say no, we're starting the race at 2 o'clock. But they've kind of put themselves into a powerless position. Back though to the Kyle Busch Ross Chastain beefing. Busch on the radio had said too. I know you don't care.
Well, because no one covered it, and they argued on pit road.
Hey, Kyle Busch on the radio said I'm gonna dump Ross. Probably used some bad words that I'm not allowed to say. Passed Ross clean. Ross got into the back of him, dumped him. Is Ross Chastain the new Ryan Newman?
He's a dart without feathers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why so?
I mean, how many incidents does he have to have with other drivers before we start to realize that he's just wrecking cars? I said it last season that Ross Chastain's going to be wrecking a lot of Ganassi cars this season.
He hasn't wrecked any though.
Got into quite a few little bits and pieces here with a bunch of drivers, and guess what? He ain't performing. So.
That's true. I am surprised how that 42 he hasn't done a little bit better because he was in these cars last year, so it's not like a Chase Briscoe scenario where he hadn't been in the car before, or even like a Cole Custer last year.
Yeah, I've never been impressed by Ross Chastain. He's talented enough, but he just wrecks race cars all the time. And I feel like if he has to wind in the not wrecking the race car thing, and now he's all of a sudden he's slow. Nah. Personal opinion. Nah.
Davey Hazard, not a Ross Chastain fan.
I am not.
How about this? Are you a fan of this guy, Mike Wheeler?
Ooh,
Buddy, it was getting
this is spicy.
He was getting roasted by Bubba Wallace fans. Oh, buddy, Sunday, I like Bubba Wallace. I got a couple of his cars right there behind me. There. I like Bubba Wallace. He's a cool dude.
Indeed.
I was angry with the staying out call, especially 8 cars in front of you, pit. You're 9th. That means at most you're going to have 11 cars behind you on the lead lap that are probably staying out, and that's definitely not going to happen. Best case scenario, you'll probably have 5. Best case. Whew. Flip of the coin. You had 7 laps on tires, right? I mean, I don't know. What side do you want to advocate for? I mean, it's easy to say that obviously this was a bad call. It wasn't the right call because of the finish, but how do you go about this, Davey Hazard?
I don't know. And you kind of alluded to this in the show sheet, which I'm looking at right now. I think it's just too much strategy. You're just trying too hard to find a thing and trying to make the thing happen when you could stay on sequence and probably do all right. He doesn't have a win. It's not like he can go for broke for a win.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have one. He needs to point race. He needs to get into the playoffs. And so I think I don't want to say being safe was the right way because some people have a problem with, don't be sure, go for the win, which is like I just disagree with, but it still feels weird to say he should have been safe. But at that point, you got to think about like risk versus reward, and this was a big risk. And they did not have the finish they deserved at the end of that because of the choice.
I mean, he drove all the way up to 7th before that pit cycle, was running 10th, I think. 9th or 10th. I think I said 9th or 10th. He was running 9th or 10th when that caution came. Man, it's frustrating, right? They had a good run. All of Gibbs had a good run, so the Toyotas have obviously, as a whole, everyone that says it's a 5th Gibbs car, it's pretty obvious it's not a 5th Gibbs car. Just so we can get our opinions on that out of the way. Like you said, I don't know, it's easy to say, obviously, now knowing how the race ended and that wasn't the right call, especially after seeing him lose all that track position really, really, really quickly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, take a risk. Again, I think that was a situation, and Wheeler even tweeted out, and I recommend you go follow him, but don't, hack him, because that's not nice, and you shouldn't do that to people, because everybody is going to have a bad call every now and again. Yeah, Davey laughs because he sees the other thing I wrote underneath this. But yeah, it's just, it didn't work out, right? In the end of the day, it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Wheeler, he had 3 years with Hamlin. They won that 2016 Daytona 500. And then they won 4 more races in the next 3 seasons. In 2016, 17, 18, they won 3 or 5 races in total together. And then 0 in 2018. And that's what led Hamlin to switch to have Chris Gabehart as crew chief. And obviously, we all know how good the Gabehart-Hamlin duo has been. 13 wins in the last 2 seasons, including 2 Daytona 500s. And Hamlin has been a championship contender both years, too, right?
And will likely be one this year.
Exactly. And it looks like Hamlin's he's kind of following that Harvick model of later in his career now. Not over the hill, but over that halfway point, maybe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Looks like he's just getting started. But Wheeler also had the year where he was the crew chief on the 95 with DiBenedetto, and they had a couple really good runs mixed in there too. So I mean, you gotta let the guy. He's also the competition director at 23XI, so he's got a lot on his plate too, besides being the crew chief. So, this team, they're still building. They're still getting better. I don't know if you have anything to add, Davey. Remember, they only started building cars in December. And they've competed now, and they've competed really well in 2 races in the Daytona 500, which I think we all expected that to happen. But now at this Phoenix race, he probably should have got a top 10. with how good that car was running at the end of the race. So we'll see. Track position, track position, track position, especially at Phoenix. Never thought I'd say that, but hey, here we are. Do you want to go back to Saturday's race real quick, Davey?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, good old Josh Berry, Santino Ferrucci. Buddy.
Yeah.
I know you're not a big Santino fan. Let's talk about the incident before we talk about what everyone else has probably been talking about.
Yeah.
Go through 1 and 2. What was 3 and 4? I'm always going to say that for the next couple of years. Race side by side. What?
I was just agreeing. It's hard not to say that about the Phoenix turns. I have trouble even still, but yeah.
Hey man, they just shouldn't have done anything. Hey, but here we are. Ferrucci and Berry side by side. Berry had a really good car. I think he had just spun out for the previous caution or something along those lines. He like wrecked a couple times at the end of the race, and wheels fell off the wagon. The wagon was destroyed. Went into 1 and 2. Ferrucci ran his line, honestly. Maybe came up a little bit, but then Ferrucci said, on the radio, was like, "Oh, I didn't give him any room. Blah, 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 blah. Look at me, I'm a big tough stock car driver now." Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. Put Berry in the wall though. It looked like Berry was probably thinking he'd get a little more flack cut to him.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see there, Davey?
I agree with you. As much as I don't really
like Santino Ferrucci.
Don't really like Santino Ferrucci. Don't like what he's done in the past. Doesn't seem like an all around model citizen by any standard. But yeah, that was just kind of, I mean, he was on the radio talking tough, which yeah, kind of makes me feel real good that I'm still mad at him for it. But I mean, it really didn't look all that malicious. It just looked like it was all kind of coming. They're just all having to come apart at the same place.
Yeah.
But Josh Berry not too happy about it.
No.
That was an iconic one. That was a pretty good one.
Fox did a terrible job too. They like blurred out his whole face and everything. Blur out. I mean, I get it. They have to blur out the hands.
Yeah.
But my goodness, like his whole face and like half of it. I always think about Will Power at New Hampshire. That's like my head. That's my perfect scenario double bird.
Oh yeah. Straight at race control. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Giving him the beans with it. Just sending it straight up. Lick that stamp. It went.
Chase Elliott's last year. Everyone, Chase is everyone's favorite, so did it.
Yeah, everyone blew it out of. I mean, it was a good execution, good form. Followed the driver on the way by. It was really good, but it was blown out of proportion because of who he is. But Josh Berry really knocked it out of the park.
Face was perfect.
Oh yeah, it was good. He was angry. And you really can't beat the double. I mean, that's just flawless. Josh Berry gets a 9 out of 10 grade for his double bird pass.
Now, I've heard people criticizing him, though, because he's obviously, he's only in this car for a little bit. Oh, this is his chance to make an impression, blah, 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 blah. Can't do that. You got to be more buttoned up.
Yeah.
This goes back to our Noah Gragson conversation a few weeks ago about clicks on social media and impressions.
This wasn't even like close to a Gragson situation. It was just, I mean, listen, man, he has been racing short tracks for a long time, and when you're mad at someone on a short track and they wreck you and you're on the freaking tow hook, you get out of your car and you give them the bird. That's what you do at a short track. That's how you let them know. Even if you go in the pits and you have a conversation about it and nothing even happens, but that's what you do. It's part of the culture. NASCAR. Some people may argue NASCAR needs a little bit of that. I don't totally disagree, but yeah.
Hey, top 10 moment of the year so far.
Dale Jr. probably gave him a big old pound in the back after that. So
I hope so. I'm waiting for the download. We're recording this on a Tuesday night, so that hasn't come out yet. So I'm sure that'll be addressed.
Labonte.
Oh baby,
I can't wait.
he's driving Southern Tour modifieds this year too.
It's awesome. So
Cookout.
awesome. I love
And he's got the
modified.
Cookout car. Oh my god, I love some Cookout.
I haven't had Cookout in so long. God, I want Cookout.
Hey, we'll meet in North Carolina. How about that? We'll go.
Let's do it. Down. We'll go to the Roval.
Here we go. But yeah. Speaking of Josh Berry, Davey, this is our segment for the week when we're trying to get people to head on over to the best diecast sales website, circlebdiecast.com. Linked in the video description below. Davey, this is your pick for the week, and I think it ties into what we just said very, very well.
Indeed. Pre-order your Josh Berry 2021 iRacing 124 scale. I went with the color chrome version this time. Joe thought it was a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Get it pre-ordered. Doesn't charge until it ships. Use code JTN. Absolutely. I think it's gonna. Joe said it was probably pretty good. I'm not usually a color chrome or fancy finish kind of guy, and I kind of didn't even mean to choose the color chrome. but like truly looking at it, like that probably
blue
looks
and
really
red.
good.
The blue and red's gonna pop really good because the white will be just the normal, and then they'll probably do the blue and red and the color chrome.
Like that silver and the two colors of blue there. Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's probably pretty good. So I highly recommend that one.
But they also have the standard version.
They do.
So you can also check that out if maybe you don't want to splurge for the color chrome because it is a little more expensive with special finishes, and we understand that. But we also remind you again to use code JTN at checkout because you'll get free shipping, especially because that car is over $20. And
I might have to cop that one, to be honest.
And like Davey said, well, it's Fake Racers podcast, and that's fake racing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly my point.
It all ties in. It all a nice little bow. I picked because the Bristol Dirt Race is coming out. They released. I'm assuming there'll be more of these coming, so keep an eye on the website, or you can join their email list, and they'll send you emails when they get new products on pre-order. The Chase Elliott, it's his 2021 Bristol Dirt Tee. So this is the back that you see on your screen, but it's got a little thing printed on the front. It's just Chase Elliott inaugural Bristol Dirt Race. I have so much trouble with that word, Davey. But you can get free shipping on this too because it's over that $20. So you'll get the free shipping, and then again, you don't get charged until it ships. So, something comes up, you always cancel it. But remember, we remind you, if you use that code JTN, it helps support us here. And it helps us continue to bring you this great content, just like buying our JTN merch that Davey is so graciously wearing tonight, as he usually does. Unless he has some really cool racing stuff on, which, Davey's got some really cool racing t-shirts.
I do got some cool racing t-shirts.
And you can get a cool racing t-shirt with this Chase Elliott Bristol Dirt Race t-shirt, which their graphic just looks so good. It's got the dirt kind of flying up. The wheels are cranked back to the right.
I have a question, Joe. About diecast stuff. And so you might know, you might not know. I don't know if this is even a thing that they would do. But I saw, they're not going to have the splitters on the Cup cars, and they're going to change them up. I don't think so. Cars, they're going to have the splitter and stuff on them.
Yeah, because that would, if they were to remove the splitter, they would have to make a whole new tool. Yeah. Which a tool is really expensive to make. That's actually an engineering thing. You're talking about die casting.
That's lame.
Casting metal.
That'd be so cool. I would buy. I don't care who wins. If my least favorite driver won, and if anyone heard my first syllable, you know who it is now. If my least favorite driver won, I'd buy it if they didn't have the splitter on it. Oh man, that'd be so sick.
Yeah, I think we'll see if they do. I have a feeling if like a Chase Elliott won, they might. Just because they'll make enough money.
Right.
And if this is a safe scenario where NASCAR moves forward and does more dirt races, but then again, it's, we're not running this car next year either. So I would probably say no. Because even on like some of the race wins that have damage, they usually just do decals for the damage instead of actually making a new mold where they cut it out. So,
which ones have they actually done like actual damage in the mold before though, or?
I'm gonna do a review of it. So check out the diecast reviews. But Chase Elliott's, it's the only one that I have that I know they do it, but I know there's a couple more. I have Chase Elliott's, remember when he won the Daytona Xfinity race in the 88 Tax Slayer car?
Yeah.
I have that one, and there's a little bit of damage on the right rear right behind the wheel, and they have it kind of cut out.
That's cool.
So, I mean, it's really minuscule, but there are cases where they do that, where they have done that. And they also have their checkers or wreckers line that's going to be out too. Those are going to be tooled all race damage. Which one of those will be the Chase Elliott Martinsville car where he and Denny Hamlin got into trouble. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
The only car I have that has anything like that, and it's not even really like that at all. It's totally different, not even related. But I have Weaver got me a 2015 Jimmy Johnson race win car, his Dover win. And it's got all the confetti and stuff on it, but like the rear tires are shredded.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so freaking sick. I love it so much.
I love those ones. I think the couple of Michigan win cars I have are like that.
Oh, it's so cool. I love look, it just looks so awesome.
No,
anyway.
They always do a great job. And remember to go to CircleBDiecast.com. We'll have the 2 products we chose linked in the description below. But of course, you feel free to browse the website. You might find something amazing on there for your favorite driver. CircleBDiecast.com. Use code JTN at checkout for free shipping on your order of $20 or more to help support us here at JTN. Davey, let's move on. USORL from this last weekend. You won at Road America. I don't know if there's too much you want to talk about it, because I also want to talk about what we did last night, broadcasting. So you want to do a quick little summation of Road America, which your t-shirt's wrong because they switched the track. There's 2 on the back. There's 2 false races, which, because this weekend was supposed to be Phoenix, but they switched it to New Hampshire. Like, I'm so disappointed in them, man.
These things happen, man. But hey, Road America was good. I was really confident going into Road America. I really love Road America. Always been a good track to me. Won a few races there. Tommy was tough competition.
Yeah, but you beat him.
I had to, yeah, but I beat him. He doesn't watch this. I can say whatever I want.
No, don't be a Tommy Bordeaux. Don't just click on the video, hit like, and then go off the video, because then old algorithm don't like it.
Yeah, he got. It was interesting because he got in front of me on that first pit stop, and I knew immediately I had to get back in front of him because he's really good when he's got no one in front of him. I don't know what it is, but he's just really good, and I'm really good when I have someone to defend. And this is at least on the road courses. On the ovals, it's the opposite, but on the road courses, I'm really good defending a lead. So I knew I had to get back in front of him. Got in front of him. Had some dodgy moments. I remember he was talking to me after the race, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I got real close, but you kind of moved in the braking zone on that one. Not something you're supposed to do." But like, hey, NASCAR rules. I'm sorry. If we got fenders and we're not in a sports car series, I'm gonna move in the braking zone all I want. So, but yeah, that was fun. That was a good race. Tune in to JTN, where Tommy will be racing again. You'll be able to watch Tommy race from the broadcast, not from my stream. A little bit of a change up this week.
Yeah, he might join us up in the booth for pre-race too, so we'll see. But that'll be this Saturday night, 10:40 p.m. But if you want to hear more from Davey this week, actually, you can check out last night's broadcast, where Davey kind of got back in the booth for the first time in a long time, and for the first time forever. And that ties into pretty well because it was Disney last night with TMP late models.
Absurd. That was absurd. I almost wanted to cuss because of how absurd that was.
I mean, go for it, man.
I would have had to buy some Circle B diecast stuff. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
He will get so angry one night, and then he'll be like this. Ooh,
Yeah.
But you did a really good job last night, and folks, if you didn't get a chance to tune in live, I think you should go check it out. Tell Davey how he did with our in our comments. And I'm sure he'll be watching to see how you guys think he did. Everyone that I talked to said you did really well. I really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. This man was so nervous too.
Dude,
he was shaking in his boots.
I was sweating.
His sweat hits on his nice suit was just drenched. We had to get him a whole new sport coat. New sport coat after. So he looked okay coming out of the booth. But remember, JTN, we got all kinds of live broadcasts, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, because you'll get notified anytime we go live, and you check out our social channels where we make sure to post about when we are going live. This weekend, the NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR Xfinity Series, and NASCAR Truck Series, they head down to Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta.
It feels like the first time. My voice is still gone. That was the song they used for years, though. I miss those commercials so much. But tire wear, Davey, tire wear. Always
Tire
good.
wear. They always say that. They always talk about it. It's always the number one thing.
We got the Larry Mac cheese grater on the tire meme from last year.
Dude. Yo, my homies hate this tire. I'm so excited for Atlanta. I like a good Atlanta race. Apparently announced today. That's more Bristol Dirt stuff. Never mind. We'll get to that when we do next week's for Bristol Dirt.
Are you
I
gonna
just
talk about
saw something today. Stuart Friesen
yeah,
in
yeah,
the Spire car.
yeah? We'll talk about
That's
that next
interesting.
week.
Yeah.
We'll also have a special announcement next. That, but
You might want to.
a little bit. Pigeon. But let's start with Xfinity because that'll be the first race at 1:00 on Saturday. Allmendinger obviously won this race last year. We only had one Atlanta race last year. We're gonna have two this year. In a race that that car was wicked loose. If you don't recall, it was crazy how much he had to drive that thing coming off of turn 4, especially. Okay, he's gonna look it up now.
We're getting some. Well, I know we got to do our picks, so I'm making sure.
Gotta look at his entry list.
Gotta look at the entry.
Gotta look at the data.
Gotta look at the data.
You gotta look at the data. I have a feeling he'll be fast again. Cindric will obviously be fast. He's been fast all year. Not as much at Las Vegas as I thought he would be. Hemrick, I'm hoping, man, Daniel Hemrick can just win one of these races. Gosh darn it. I need it. I need it in my soul.
My soul.
My soul craves a Daniel Hemrick race win diecast. Much. But, Davey, why don't you make the first pick here? Xfinity Atlanta and why?
Xfinity Atlanta. Why? Huh.
Or do you still need a quick minute? Because I can make my pick.
No, I don't think I need a minute. I'm gonna go with something that I probably wouldn't like watching, but I think it would be a cool story. I could see it happening. Cool. I say a cool story. It'd be like interesting because it. Martin Truex Jr. Gotcha. You let me go first. You can't let me go first, Joe.
I can't.
You can't let me go first.
Why so? Why so?
I don't know. I just, maybe he's gonna. Maybe something will click. Maybe he'll enjoy the car. It'll kind of work out. He's in a Gibbs car,
right?
54. So it's gonna be a fast car. let's be real here. He's probably gonna be in one of the best cars in the field, pretty comfortably so. I don't know. That's why.
All right, I like your pick. Obviously, I like your pick.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta think. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Daniel Hemrick.
Ooh, actually, I feel like that's a good pick. Actually,
was really fast at Las Vegas. There's more tire wear here. Hemrick seems to starting to hit his stride here. Probably deserved a lot better finish than what he got at Phoenix. That 18 car will be fast, and he will not tear it up. So, I think Daniel Hemrick's going to be a contender the entire remainder of the season, honestly, in most of the races we got to do. And rightfully so, right? He's in the Gibbs car. He's blah, 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 laundry list of things. But I'm going to go with old Daniel Hemrick. Truck Series, Davey.
Truck Series.
Just pick Parker Kligerman. Just do it.
Okay, Parker Kligerman.
Yeah, all right. Don't want to make you root against your boy.
I can't.
I'm going to go with, this is more of a sentimental pick, Bill Lester returning.
That's incredible,
Truck Series.
Man. That's so awesome.
Because we just haven't gotten a chance to talk about it, so I'm just going to pick him. But I want to see what he can do. I just want to see, man. I don't remember him driving. I was, probably 5 or 6, so I don't remember it too vividly. And I just think it's really cool that he's going to be back. He's going to have Camping World and Ford sponsoring that 17. And I hope it, maybe gets him a couple extra races over there with DGR. Just because I think it'd be cool to have him around. Because Bill Lester is kind of, he was that guy in the Truck Series for a while, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of like our, like our Grant Enfinger, Ben Rhodes now.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of that guy. Maybe not the great amount of success, but was just always kind of there. Bill Lester. That's who I'm going to go.
That's a cool pick. I like that pick. Mostly because it's just so freaking cool.
Yeah. All right. Cup Series.
The big boys.
Um,
Hmm.
I'll let you pick first again, because I have a feeling you're not going to pick who I'm going to pick. I have 2 picks, so there's no way you can pick both.
What? No, I have to.
Well, no, you're not picking 2. I just have 2 people in my head. It'll
Oh,
be one or the other. Get one of them.
dang it. Okay.
Can't pick 2. How this works.
I just kind of go with my gut for these cut races, man. You just can't. With the package and the no practice, it's just all about who unloads good, right?
Right.
Um,
They're going to pick Kyle Busch.
No, actually. No, I'm not.
Because he always unloads great.
I'm gonna pick Ryan Blaney.
Oh, wow. That's off the board, honestly.
Yeah. I kind of figured it would be. I'm gonna go Ryan Blaney.
Why?
Penske's been strong.
Yeah.
Blaney's been decent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think he carries the momentum. I think he gets some. It's gonna be a Ryan Blaney-esque season. He's gonna do really well. He's gonna win himself a race early, and he's gonna maybe win Dega, and then he's gonna do all right, and then we're gonna hit like July, August, and he's gonna finish 15th every race. But I think he gets his win this Sunday.
Blaney's kind of like Kyle Busch in the way, not like Kyle Busch.
Not quite as bad as Kyle Busch with the whole unloading bad thing.
But Blaney doesn't get better throughout the race. That's I think his feedback. Not that his feedback's bad. I just think I think there's something there that's just not translating still, even with Todd Gordon. I think that's why they put him with Todd Gordon, because Todd Gordon is a championship-winning crew chief. They could have put him with Paul Wolfe. I think maybe, but I don't think Wolfe would have worked either, because I don't think I think Wolfe really benefited from having Keselowski for a lot, because Keselowski is a lot more technically sound, which I think Logano's getting there now too, with all those years with Gordon. So I think that's kind of just a developing thing. Remember Joey Logano first year with Todd Gordon, they won 1 race, and then 2014 they went on a electric streak. Blaney's year is probably next year if they keep that pairing together. I don't trust him to give good feedback and make that car better throughout the race.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about this before a bunch of times with Blaney, where I kind of feel like he's that I think we've talked about that exact thing, but like he still needs time to mature as a driver. He still needs time to find out what works and what he needs to say and the things he needs to say with the person he's working with. He needs a Ray Evernham. He needs a Ray Evernham, because Jeff Gordon would just tell Ray Evernham, "Car's loose here." Kind of feels like this. Ray Evernham would just fix it.
Figure it out.
Just make it out. You just make it happen.
Yep.
Ryan Blaney needs a guy like that. That maybe also kind of helps him up his communication skills. Exactly what the car is doing.
I'm gonna go with Brad Keselowski.
Mm-hmm.
I was between him and Harvick. I don't think Harvick's had as much speed this year as I would have liked.
Good at Atlanta when he stays on all 4 wheels.
Yes. I'm flashbacks now. I think that 2 cars on a really good roll right now. They're second in the points. He was good at Vegas. He ran second at Vegas. Larson's going to be a good guy this week. Bowman, I think, will be really good this week, but I'm going to go with Keselowski to get the dub, because at Atlanta too in recent, which people don't give him credit for either, but he's been really good here.
Brad, you mean? Brad's been good?
Brad.
Brad's been. I was gonna say that Brad's been really good at Atlanta his whole career.
I think last year was just was kind of like the outlier. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Keselowski. So to recap, Davey's taking Truex in Xfinity, Parker Kligerman in trucks, and Ryan Blaney in the Cup Series. I'm gonna take Daniel Hemrick, Bill Lester, and Brad Keselowski. So follow along with us during those races on Saturday and Sunday. But Davey, that's gonna wrap it for this show.
Gonna be a wrap.
Wrap it up in a nice little bow real quick. Make sure, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow the podcast if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. If you found us that way, you can check us out on Twitter at Johto Network, on Facebook, again, Johto Network, or on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/Johto Network. Again, if you're listening to this, but if you're already on YouTube, you're watching it with a lot of people where you can see our pretty faces. There's a bunch of links in the description below where you can go to our Twitter, go to our Facebook. Make sure if you haven't already, you're subscribed. That way you don't miss anything here on JTN. Davey, where can they find out more about you?
Ooh, this is my favorite part. They can find out more about me on Twitter at Davey Hazard, on Instagram at D7H5, and on Twitch at D7H5er, where you will catch race broadcasts like the one that I did this past weekend. I say broadcast, it's just a stream of me driving. It's not the broadcast that Joe does. Those are professional. You can find me there. Tune in. Give me a follow. Subscribe to JTN on YouTube.
Yeah.
Follow JTN.
What the heck? Half of you aren't subscribed. What is that? What does that mean? Which is actually really good by YouTube standards to have half of your viewers subscribe. Which, again, whenever we say we really appreciate you guys, I mean we genuinely do. And without you, the JTN fans, we wouldn't be able to do this. I mean, we've grown this thing in a year. We've doubled it pretty much. So, really appreciate you as always. Again, check out all those socials below. Help support us. Hit the subscribe button. Like the podcast. Follow the podcast. However that works on your preferred podcast platform. We would appreciate it to the moon and back. For all of us here at JTN, thank you so much for listening. Again, appreciate you. For Davey Hazard, I've been Joe Tomansky. Thank you so much. Bristol didn't make an appearance this week. I have no idea where he is. But he's probably working on stuff. You know, we got projects, Davey. We got projects. But thank you guys in the lab. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye, guys.